Hello, Fearless Freedom family. Oh, I am super excited because literally just I am, first of all, how rude of me. I am just chatting you up and I haven't introduced myself. I am Dr. Charmaine Gregory and I am the host of the Fearless Freedom with Dr. G podcast. And if you're unfamiliar with the podcast, you happen to come across the page just by happenstance, then fabulous. Welcome. The podcast itself is really all about facing fear and by facing those fears, emerging victoriously. And so the reason why the podcast even got started is because I myself, Dr. G, is afraid of public speaking. I am deathly afraid, you guys. I mean, like, so much so that I have a visceral response. My body responds to me getting on stage and speaking in public in a not so positive way. Or at least, let's just say, in the very beginning, this was how it was. A little less so now, and thanks to you, and thanks to all the listeners in the Fearless Freedom Tribe, and thanks to the Fearless Freedom with Dr. G podcast, that has improved. And so, what would happen? I know you guys are wondering. Well, what would happen was I literally would not get any sleep the night before the talk. I would have nightmares if I did get any sleep. And then the next day, while I'm getting ready to go on stage, all the things that I'd be thinking about were not positive. I mean, we're talking about thinking that I'm going to trip and fall on the stage, that I'm going to be a bloody mess. I'm going to break my nose. There's going to be blood on my suit, blood on the stage. And then I'm going to get back up and I'm going to slip in the blood that I dripped on the stage to begin with. All the things. My face would turn super red. My heart would beat outside of my chest. I would just be a hot mess. And let's not even mention the fact that my underarms would be having a rainforest attack. Literally. When I talk about that, when I say rainforest attack, I mean sweaty, heavily duty, sweaty armpits. Okay? Just keeping it real. And so all these things would happen right before I would get on stage. And so I literally would go through this every single time. And I figured, you know what? This can't be normal. This cannot be normal. And then that was really when I realized that I truly do have a fear of public speaking and something had to be done about it. And one of the things that I thought about doing was starting a podcast about my journey, about the fear that I was feeling because I had to be not the only person that feels this way. There had to be others who are going through similar things where they were facing their fears and they were working on ways to emerge victoriously. And so the podcast was born. And over the year and a little bit that the podcast has been on the air, there have been some amazing women and an amazing man who has been on the show. And literally, it's funny because we're human, right? And every last one of us has a fear or fears. But the great part is that we have something to share, something to offer, something to encourage with because we have lessons that we learn from facing our fears. And by sharing those lessons, by us seeing that everyday heroes just like ourselves also have fears, that allows us to be able to face our fears like bosses, like the boss that you are. And every single Sunday at 12 noon Eastern, another episode is released and another hero shares about their story, how they're fighting and how they're facing their fears and emerging victoriously. And they're sharing pearls with you so you can do the same. So if you haven't listened to the podcast yet, then you should go over to your favorite podcast listening platform and you need to look up Fearless Freedom with Dr. G. You need to hit the subscribe button while you're there. And then you listen, you share with a friend, because you know friends don't let friends listen alone. And then you leave a positive review and hit me up with those 5 stars, okay? I truly appreciate it. Because these are the things that are going to allow for the show to be heard by more people. Because the more of us that face our fears, are the more of us that are going to emerge victoriously. So, you know what? In greatness, you need to have lots of company. And so that's why I'm looking to you to help me to share the podcast and help it be absolutely amazing and get to as many people as possible. So, this is the official Facebook page for the podcast, which I literally just launched this weekend, 2 days ago. And so I am working to build it. So if you know someone who is looking to hit up on a new podcast and they want to hear the latest and greatest about what's going on with the podcast, feel free to introduce them to this page as well. All right. So I just want to get on live and I wanted to welcome you to the page. I wanted to welcome you to the podcast. I wanted to say thank you and big up and all those great things because guess what? We are in this together. We're going to face fear and we're going to all emerge victoriously. That is our jam and that is how we roll. So I just hope that you will be strong, be brave, and unleash your greatness.